Good morning. It is 7:01 a.m. I almost did it. May 2nd already, 2019. Man, that's amazing how fast 24 hours go. We're already into May. Hope you're having a great morning so far. I know I am. It's a little bit busy. It might be a short show, but I sometimes get carried away. But I got some things I'm wrapping up. I'm going to be going on the road tomorrow. I have a daughter who is graduating from college, so I'm pretty excited about that and trying to get things taken care of a little bit here at the house with that cleansing at peace of mind feeling that certain things are done. Got a great day of work ahead of me. I will be going in and continuing to train this week some new advertising sales executives. So I'm really excited about that too. I love it. I love it. Okay, so starting off, let's just go right there. Strange title to the show today. I always like to make notes for myself of what the show was about. And woke up this morning thinking about a little song. And it is a love song, and it is forever old. And it's called The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face. So before I get into that whole thing, and by Roberta Flack, but it also was originally written by someone else many years ago. She covered it, and then it was in an amazing movie called Play Misty for Me. So Clint Eastwood had a little bit of a hand in making that a very famous song for her. And oh gosh, it's just so beautiful. Anyways, have not heard it. At least 2 decades. I don't know the last time I heard that song. I really don't. Haven't watched the movie. Woke up thinking about it. So I always wonder whenever that happens, what in the world? What makes us do that? Because sometimes I think, it can be the Sesame Street song I wake up to. So I don't know what makes us do that, but I think it's pretty cool. Because what it did was caused me to say, hey, you ever heard this song? And he's like, yes. And we started singing it and making fun of each other. So it caused laughter. And then following that is this little thing I call farm fresh eggs. My buddy works in the Mansfield area, lives in Ashland, and that's farm country. And I am fascinated by, he started sharing farm fresh eggs with me. And I'm like, is there really a difference? Come on. I know they look really pretty on a cooking show because the color of them sitting on the counter when someone's cooking on the Home and Garden Network, it's pretty cool. I'm like, really? Is that true? Yes, they are good. They do taste better. And I just had store-bought the other day. So there is a contrast in the way that they taste, look, how they fry up as over easy. And hang on one second. I'm noticing something. Hold on, guys. I just noticed my fan was not on, and that is unacceptable in my world. Must have circulation. So sorry about that. I had to step away. There was no way I would get through 5 more minutes, 1 more minute without that fan going. So, okay, so we endured that. I had to step away for a moment, but hey, it's live. That's what we do. Anyways, back to these eggs. Okay, so they do taste different. They cook different. I could probably do a taste test with you and you would taste the difference. It's just amazing. But what I was fascinated about is that he tells me that they put these eggs out and they're all sitting there, and on the honor system you take the eggs and you leave the money. And I thought, wow, really? It's 2019. Who does that? Who has that much trust in the fact that you're going to do that? And then I thought, they must be at so much peace at their heart that they know that probably there's at least one person that's going to take a dozen eggs and not leave the money. And I don't know, it's something like they're $2 a dozen. I don't know, I can't remember. Of course, you have to pay cash, and there's no one there. And I was just fascinated by that. And that kind of, led me into When we're in sales, and again, I train and I've been selling something, I swear, ever since I was a little girl, whether it was people believing in me that I was funny, so I was trying to sell them on that fact or whatever it was. But I mean, cosmetic, shoes, any appointment setting, phones, long distance service. Yes, I'm that old. I used to call people and try and get them to go with a long distance service. Pagers, air quotes, cellular phones is what they called them. The big old shoe that you held to your head, and they thought that was a fascinating thing. But there's a level of trust and integrity that you must bring forth for yourself and for others, for there to be a long-lasting, solid relationship and in trust. And when I say that long-lasting relationship, it's within yourself. Because if you're on the phone and you're in sales and you're lying or you're deceptive or you're cutting prices and you're not doing your company any good, there's a level of trust and integrity that I promise you will get to you one day. But the most important thing, from the very first time you shake hands with the customer, you introduce yourself to the customer, there's a level of trust that must magically start happening. Because it's the first time I met you, others before you have done wrong, and now you're wanting me to believe you. I am a business person. I'm running a business. It's what puts bread on my table and farm fresh eggs, if you will, for my family. And you want me to trust you to the point of, in our world, in this advertising sales world that we're in, we end up asking for a credit card. When I was in furniture sales, we used to have a third down. And so before we could custom order furniture. So there's that level of trust that somewhere I built that to where they gave me their credit card or a check for a third down. And I'm talking about thousands of dollars in the furniture world. And there's also a level of trust that they must have had in the store that I was working for, that they would do the right thing with their $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 down on their $20,000 or $15,000 order. I mean, it's a big deal. And so, but I know why that happened. I know why that happened. I'm confident in why that happened, because not only did I believe in my product or service that I was relaying to them, I believed in me and the salesperson or the account executive or the appointment setter that I was. The lead generation person, the first contact, the face of the company, the product or service that you're presenting. You are the face of it the first time you say, hello, my name is Bev. You are representing and calling them on behalf of something, whether it's a product or service of your own doing or whether you work for a company. And so that level of trust, believe me, I talk about objections: no time, no need, no interest, no money. That is one. In variations, those are your objections to what people, and what those are is they're questions or objections that they have because they don't know enough, or you haven't shared enough of why this is a good idea that they move forward with you. But the other one is trust. And if you aren't portraying that and relaying that, you need to push reset and take a look at things. When I am on the road, and I used to travel quite a bit more. Now I just have this really awesome commute. I never know what's going to happen, but it really should only be a 20-minute drive, but it turns into much more. But I hop on that freeway, and there's this part where you're getting on the freeway at the same time other people want to get off. The exact same time. So they're coming in your direction. You want to get over. They want to get over. And every single morning, it's never empty. It's never free where I'm confident about getting in that lane. But the level of trust that I put in drivers to be doing the right thing is absolutely insane. that they're not going to cut me off, that they're not going to mow me over, that they're not going to come in that lane at the same time. And that level of trust that I'm putting in them begins with myself. I trust that I'm going to take care of them as a driver. And so we do this in life. We put this level of trust out there that we're buying farm fresh eggs and they aren't rotten and they are going to be good, and we trust in that person that these eggs that we're picking up are going to be good, and we leave the money and it's a wonderful, beautiful transaction. Go to the grocery store. Look at the level of trust that we daily put in our, they call it the FDA, and that people are checking things on our behalf, but how many times have they failed us? A lot. How many times has a restaurant failed us? A lot. But we still go back to that restaurant. Yeah, they fall short. They get a little bit of a bad reputation for a while, but we all end up going back to that restaurant that either had salmonella poisoning or whatever. Shut down, regroup, reset. They have to clean everything. They have nationwide, all their stores or restaurants are shut down. That's all within trust. Can you believe that you do that? That you drive through a drive-through window and that you trust that nobody did anything to your food on the way out? And that's because you have trust within yourself. Now, granted, yeah, really bad people, very distrustful people go through and get their food fine just from any fast food restaurant. Really bad people own grocery stores and don't care. There are bad people out there. This little thing that I'm trying to do here, this silly little podcast, and by the way, thank you everybody for your emails and private messages and just giving it a try. Just giving this show a try. This thing that I'm doing here it's not really to change anybody. And maybe if it is, it's just to wake them up, to look at some of these things that we take for granted. We take for granted that, for instance, I thank God every day for my voice, because without it, in the sales and training world, I would have a struggle on how to train people. I suppose I could still write, but I wouldn't have the enjoyment and the fun that I do in front of a crowd or a group, sharing thoughts, ideas, and values and things like that. But I do not take my voice for granted, but many people often do. Things like, our five senses, that we take those things for granted. And it's all I'm trying to do is maybe wake you up. Hello, wake you up. Good morning, good night, good afternoon. Wake up. Because you don't know. You don't know what your next moment is going to give you. So trying to get your best self going and shake up that inside, and maybe if you aren't closing as many sales as you like, are you really giving that customer all of you? Are you really sharing with them not just your product or service, but you and the trust that they can have in you, that you're going to do the right thing? In our world, it's advertising, that you're going to see it through and make sure that the things that you guys talked about, the story that you wanted to tell with their ad, did that take place? Let them know that you care about doing that, and that this really is about promoting their business. And did that story get to come through? And furthermore, you're asking them for money from their precious credit card. So they're paying for something. Have you ever been in the store and said, maybe a pair of shoes or something, maybe they were $75, and you're like, gosh, that's a lot of money. I really don't have that right now. But shoes, for goodness sakes, if it's a certain pair of practical shoes, you're going to wear them every day, all the live long day, every minute. If they're work shoes, you're going to wear them at least 10 hours a day and 5 days a week. So do the math. Isn't $75 worth it for a pair of shoes that's going to make you feel good? Well, you're thinking and hem-hauling around about $75, and we're out there asking customers for hundreds and thousands of dollars. And we do that, and I really believe in the product and service where the company where I work. I believe in it. And I want you to get the best thing for what you're doing and what story you want to tell with your ad. I believe that. But if you are in a world, and I don't care if you're selling digital, if you're selling furniture, if you're selling shoes, if you